Good morning, third grade. You have lesson 86, and it is simple measurement equations. So this is where we are taking what you've learned about how to convert, and really we're just adding one more step because we're getting ready for when we have multiple units that we have to convert. So on today's lesson, you're going to rewrite the equation using the same measures. I know this sounds like something that we wouldn't need to do because you didn't do it on the last lesson, and yet we're not actually adding anything new. But this helps us get organized for when we have more than one equation. So please start practicing this. Okay, so we rewrite the equation. What that means is I'm going to rewrite step like the example problem, but they already have it. I'm going to write it before they actually rewrote it. Oops. So when it says rewrite it, it says 9 yards equals blank feet. Now last week you figured out that we have to put them into 3 steps. Well, today you're going to learn that we're going to rewrite it matching measurement. So basically what you're going to start asking yourself is which one doesn't match the answer, because that's what we're trying to find. Which one doesn't match your answer? Well, obviously the 9 yards doesn't. So what you're going to do is you're going to put a box around the 9 yards. This is showing that this one is different. When you put the box around it, you're also going to draw a line and write feet, because that's what the answer is supposed to be in. And then you're going to write equals blank feet. So you're going to, now it's kind of like this top row is no longer here, and we have a brand new equation down below. Kind of like what you did with when you're solving for like n plus 3 equals 4 times 3. And you rewrite it and you say n plus 3 equals 12. That's kind of what you're doing here. Okay, so we draw a box around the one that is different. Then we make it into blank feet equals blank feet. Then this is where we do our step 1, step 2, and I'm going to run out of room. Step 3. So now we just use what's in the box. We only follow what's in the box. So you start with your yards. When we start with yards and we go down to feet, are we doing bigger to smaller or smaller to bigger? So yards is bigger, so we're going bigger down to smaller. So you multiply. So that's what they did here. Then how many of the smaller unit, so how many feet are in a yard? They said 3. So then you write exactly as it is in the box. You do 9, that's what they wrote, times, which is what they have here, and that's what they wrote. Then the special number, which was 3, and that's what they put here. And then you solve it. It equals 27. So then you're actually going to put the 27 up on this line. So 27 feet equals how many feet? 27. Okay, like I said, now it seems repetitive. You're going to put 27 in 3 different spots. The reason we do this, though, is because pretty soon you are going to have equations that might look like this. Has your 9 yards equals blank feet, but it might also say plus 21 feet. Then you have to see which one doesn't match. Well, this one says feet, this one says feet, so this is the one that doesn't match. So then when you go to rewrite it, you would rewrite it as 21 feet plus blank feet equals blank feet. And then if you would notice, this entire row all says foot, 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 or feet, feet, feet. That's why we do it. All right, so let's get started. The first one, 2 gallons equals how many quarts? So we want our answer to be in quarts. So which one does not have quarts? Obviously, this one does not have quarts. So I'm going to put a box around it, and I'm going to make a line that says blank quarts. So now I'm going to change it into quarts, and that's going to equal quarts. Okay, now I'm going to start with the inside the box. I'm only working inside the box. From gallons to quarts. Am I doing bigger to smaller or smaller to bigger? Gallons is bigger, and I go to smaller. So I start big, I go small, I cross over, so it's multiply. Now, what's my special number? That's saying, okay, which one's the smaller unit? You just figured out quarts was smaller, so how many quarts are in a gallon? So if you needed to draw it out, here's your gallon. There's 4 quarts, okay? Now I write it exactly like my equation has it. So I write 2. Then I go down and I said times. Go down again, 4. And now that's all I have. And that's a full equation. So now I can solve it. So 2 times 4 is 8, which means the same thing as if I have 2 gallons, I could write 2 G's. And check my work. Does that have 8 quarts? Yeah. So therefore, 2 gallons is the same as 8 quarts. So now I'm just looking at this line. 8 quarts plus and minus nothing equals 8 quarts. Sorry, that was a bad 8. So now I need to also write that up on my line. Okay, let's do one more together before you try it on your own. Okay, the answer needs to be in weeks. So which one does not say weeks? Well, we only have one today, so that's obvious that this one does not say weeks. So I need to change it to weeks. Okay, so now starting with days and going down to weeks, am I starting bigger to smaller or smaller to bigger? Days compared to a week are smaller. It starts smaller and it gets bigger. Then, since I said days is already smaller, how many days are in a week? Hopefully you knew that was 7. So now I'm going to copy it. I'm going to start 14. Then divide by. Then 7. 14 divided by 7 is what? So 14, if you have a group of 7, how many groups would you have? 2. So, therefore, my new answer inside the box is 2 weeks. Do I have anything that I need to add to my 2 weeks on this row? Nope, it's just 2 weeks, so therefore my answer is 2 weeks. All right, go ahead and try that for the last one. The story problem says, at one time, only 22 California condors were known to exist. Today, there are 446. How many more California condors are there now? So that's a type of bird. It's a vulture. Then Diana and her family visited the insectarium at the zoo. They saw 2,956 leaf-cutter ants, 210 great egg flies, and 166 blue morpho butterflies. How many of these insects are there all together? Okay. On the back side, you have some review, divide and check, write your Roman numerals from 1 to 10. So look in your interactive notebook if you need to. Solve the equation for 6. On number 7, of course, if you would like, you can write it going vertically instead of horizontally. That is totally fine, or write it off to the side. 90, oops, I almost wrote the wrong thing down. So if you do that, make sure you copy it down correctly. I would have had the wrong answer. Okay, and then color the same amount and write the fraction. So therefore, if I color 2 of my 3 here, well, it made kind of like this shape. So I need to color 2 of them again. But now what's my new fraction? Well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces colored out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my new fraction is 4/6. All right, as always, good luck. And if you have any questions, please raise your hand.